So hello and welcome. I thought I'd do a video on sharing with you guys what is actually going on, right? I've been hinting about things for a little while, and I've been hinting and saying that there's change coming, that I've changed, things in my business are going to change, the things that I'm doing are going to change. But then I was kind of hesitant and I pulled back and I made some changes, but very small changes, and some of you might have not even really noticed. So if you've been around me, or if you've been watching my videos since all the way back in 2016, you know that I'm very passionate about sharing what has helped me on my journey healing from complex PTSD, or let me say healing some wounds, some inner wounds, that deep wounds that we have from childhood trauma, and managing some of those symptoms and so forth. So I shared those practices and tools with you guys. But to be very transparent and very open about when I share things, I don't share things that I am working on right in this present moment, or very rarely. The things that I've been sharing with you there are the things that I have implemented and practiced for years. So I really know what it feels like in my body to do that. That I know what the outcome is and how quickly or not quickly things have changed for me, whether I feel like this is something helpful or whether this resonates with me and so forth. So I have a real embodied sense of that practice before I share it with you. Right? Because I started the YouTube channel and then Facebook lives and things like that in 2016, but I was actually diagnosed back in 2006. So I had a whole decade of working on anything complex PTSD, right? I was studying, I was learning, and I was doing that, and then I was sharing that. And in the last few years, I kind of there's a bit of a resistance there, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do another video talking about how to manage flashbacks, for example, or any kind of symptom with complex PTSD. And I didn't know what was going on, because I thought I was so passionate about this. I was so passionate about helping people. And what I realized then is, after a lot of inner work and soul searching, and it was a very difficult, a very emotional journey there for me. But what I discovered is that the purpose of me sharing all this is like, I always wanted people to come with me on that journey, right? I wanted everyone to be, that a together feeling for us, because at the beginning it felt so lonely. All throughout childhood I thought I'm like an alien. God made this huge mistake and he put me on planet Earth. Was not meant to be here. Right? This is how it felt to me, truly. Right. And as a child we make childlike explanations of why things are happening to us in there, and that was just how I viewed it then. But even in my adult life, I always felt very different and very lonely. So I wanted people to come with me. So what I learned is, because I've outgrown it, so to speak, a lot of those symptoms I no longer have. I can't remember the last time I had a flashback. I can still remember how horrible they are and how vivid it is to have a flashback. Like it's that memory comes to life in the here and now, isn't it? You feel like you're that child again, or whatever age you were when that happened. You smell, you see, you can hear the voices. Everything is there like this. I haven't had an experience like this for so many years. Okay. And I also want to share this because I want you to know that if you're going through the crisis phase at the moment, or I like to think of healing in four phases, like the crisis phase, the wobble phase, and then we are thriving, and then I thought that's it. But then I realized, oh, there's actually a whole other level after thriving. That is all the self-mastery, right? So, but when we're at the beginning, when you're still in this crisis state, the flashbacks for me were one of the most debilitating symptoms with complex PTSD, right? Because it took me sometimes weeks and months to get back on track after flashbacks. Anyway, so just want to share. So actually right now, when I'm thinking back, even knowing that I had all this really vivid memory of certain incidents, where minute little things I remembered, now I really have to focus and think really hard to come up with those memories. They're almost gone. I cannot, they're no longer there. They no longer create that emotional reaction within my body. I don't even want to think about it. I'm no longer interested in it, and hence my body, or my brain no longer comes up with those memories, and my body does no longer react in the same kind of way, which is beautiful. And so my wish for all of you, right? And I want to share this because that when you're doing that inner work, it is really ugly. It feels uncomfortable. It feels horrible, really. It feels horrible doing that inner work. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. As you keep going, those things, they fade off. Those symptoms become less intrusive, less frequent, less... They don't last as long anymore, right? So that part. So I really wanted to... That my biggest fear was for me to make change. I knew I had to change things. I knew I had to do something different because it just no longer felt right for me, right? I had this resistance in sharing practices and tools around, for example, with the flashbacks. But I didn't know what if I changed. I felt like, oh, but people are going to hate me. People were going to feel like I'm going to leave them behind, or I no longer care about you. And that is not the truth. I really want you to know that all this information is still out there. On my YouTube channel, in my Facebook group, the Complex PTSD and Thriving, I did a video every single week on some of those symptoms. And the practices that I've shared with you guys in there, and the tools that I use, that's essentially what got me to this place where I am today. So if you're watching that video and there's something that resonates with you, then practice it. Go with it for a little while, tweak it a little bit, make it yours. That is so key for any practice out there, that we tweak it and make it our own as well, because we're all quite unique in that sense as well. So, but moving forward, I'm going to step it up a notch. So instead of actually doing all my content and video talking to the symptoms that we experience when we're in the crisis phase or when we're wobbling, I'm now going to speak to when we're actually thriving and we want to go to that level of self-mastery. Because that's my passion, that's where I'm at, and I was doubting, being super honest here with you guys, was doubting whether I'm actually ready to teach that. Because all of last year it felt like a fluke. Is that, can life be really that good? Can I really feel that grounded and that calm within myself, you know, and no longer have these panic attacks and things like that being out and about? I still have anxiety, I'm human, but no longer that irrational anxiety about things that, you know what I mean. the little things, having a whole anxiety or panic attack just because someone rolled their eyes, and it might not have even been about me, but I thought it might be me, and all those things that I used to do, right? So I no longer do that, but I always thought, this can't last. This is too good to be true, and I was doubting myself that this is it. This is my new me. This is where I'm at. This is what's possible for us guys. And that is so beautiful, and that is so, I don't even have the right words. Magical. I keep wanting to say it's magic. It feels really magic to be in this place, and I'm so looking forward to actually teaching this. What actually got me to that place now? So, talking more about that radical self-awareness, to really being in tune with our body, right? To really know, I've done some posts about even just the food, that trusting my body knows what kind of food it needs. Trusting my body when for example, some days I don't feel like doing exercise. Is it me wanting to avoid exercising, or is there really something going on within my body that it's fighting some infection, you know, often get colds or something like that? Is something like this going on? To trust, to have that inner knowing, being so connected with your inner knowing, that it's beautiful. And that's what I would love to help you guys. So you'll see a little bit of change, and you will see how that resonates with you. And I'd love to hear from you guys too. It's like, what is it that you have been using to help you to connect with your body even more, getting to that next level, that self-mastery? And that is so important. This is so what we need right now in this world, right? The more we can create that calm and that peace within us, in our body, the more we can radiate peace and love and acceptance out there. And this is so what we need in this world right now, where there's so much friction, there's so much fighting, and that polarity, people for and against things, and so much hate, right? That we can find ways that we have so much peace and acceptance within ourselves, that we can hold our ground. We don't have to change our opinion, but being accepting of someone else's different opinion, and we can do this in a peaceful kind of way. And I think it's so needed in our world today. But so that's what's kind of happening for me, and that was the kind of changes that you will be seeing. And I created a whole workshop around self-awareness. I'm super excited about that. So that's going to start on the 25th of July, I think. It's a 5-day kind of a workshop. So keep your ears out for that too, so that I'll announce that very, very shortly as well. So, but this is what I'm excited about. And yeah, I just it's just really important for me that anything that I share with you guys, any practices, any tools, any things that I have done that before, and I have tested this out, and I have practices, and I've noticed, what is it doing to my body? How does that feel? How does it change the way I interact with other people? How does it change the way I can focus and study and everything, right? So I just wanted to share that, and I just, yeah, so it's time that I shared that. And it's time for that change there. So thank you so much for being here with me, and as always, sending you lots and lots of love and rainbows to brighten up the tough times just a little. See you guys, bye.